We live in a new age, and it's time for us to upgrade our tinfoil hats. Operation Tinfoil is a freedom-focused small business and trusted sponsor of this show. Their super comfortable new line of beanies and baseball caps will not only crown your skull in style, but each of these dome defenders is lined with a silver mesh that blocks up to 99% of EMF radiation from cell phone towers, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and yes, even 5G. We don't know what EMF radiation does to the brain long term, but neither do they, so don't be their guinea pig and don't wait around to find out. Get your stylish tinfoil hat of the future today at gettinfoil.com. Use the promo code SYSTEM for $10 off your order. Again, that's gettinfoil.com. Use the promo code SYSTEM for $10 off your order. Have you guys heard of Matt Miller? He's not only the guy who paints those amazing portraits of all your favorite heroes in the liberty movement and in pop culture, but he's also now an official sponsor of this show. From Murray Rothbard to Ron Paul, Dr. Robert Malone to Darth Maul, Matt Miller's Liberty Portraits has something fun for everyone to spice up your home or office and showcase your heroes. Go check out his incredible work at libertyportraits.com. Grab a print to impress your friends, hire him for a custom portrait, or bring him out to a festival to capture your event in real life in a beautiful and unique way. To find out more, just head over to libertyportraits.com. Once again, that is libertyportraits.com.
Some few of you may be living an existence of dissatisfaction, maybe even a sense of emptiness, a sense of longing, a yearning that doesn't seem to be filled. Even though you may try with entertainment, sex, and drugs, though I have nothing against those, they don't fill that yearning. You may be waking up every day wanting more, but not knowing what it is that you want. It's those few of you that I'd like to address right now. This sense of longing, this sense of yearning, this sense of not being satisfied is really your loss of freedom. And it is freedom for which you yearn. And you have none in this government. A government of the American people which started out with the people being free and the government being our servants. It has become the government is free and secret and veiled in darkness, and it is the people that are the servants. You must see the truth of this, your yearning, your longings, your sense of dissatisfaction that cannot be filled with stuff, with cars, with money. No matter how much you have, that sense of dissatisfaction remains. Please, you have woken up to your reality. That is what you are feeling. Wake up a bit more and do something about it. Raise your voice. Thank you.
Well, we're alive. We made it all the way through the end of democracy and the reappointing of Trump. Pretty sure that's what was supposed to happen, but tragically, Republicans have failed abysmally. And today we're going to laugh in their faces. I know, it's all our fault. It's never your fault when you suck. It's all the libertarians' fault. Let's talk about it. Go out, share the show, let's talk about some news, and let's get weird.
All I ask is, if we have to give these bastards our lives, we give them hell before we do!
The tragedy of our day is the climate of fear in which we live.
Talking about the Salomon Brothers building collapsing.
I would ask the congressman to withdraw that comment and tell us that he didn't really mean that.
We have to stop supporting what I call activist support.
not have sexual relations with that woman.
The Bible commands that certain people be put to death.
Thieves or possesses weapons of mass destruction. 9/11 attacks were carried out by Al-Qaeda.
Handle the truth.
I remember that with that smoke. We are still here!
We have to say yes to social justice.
Let Morgan know tomorrow.
It's a big club, and you ain't in it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the least comfortable show on the web. The System is Down. The place where we talk about all the uncomfortable topics, the conspiracies, politics, religion, and Republicans. And abysmal failures. Lots of fun stuff. We talk about all the uncomfortable topics, all the things that are going on in the world. We watch the world burn and have a good laugh at it together. Because as it does, all we have left is the laughter. We will all remember the laughter today, because today we're laughing at the poor, poor Republicans. Am I being too cynical right off the bat? I don't know, maybe. My lighting is going to change in here because my cat is opening the window. That's a normal occurrence around here. Pushing the curtain out of the way. Speaking of pulling back the curtain, let's pull back the curtain today and take a look at the system and why it sucks and why we can't possibly... This can't possibly be true. It has to be fraud, right? It's always fraud. I'm getting ahead of myself. I do first and foremost have to thank my favorite people in the whole world, my favorite sponsor of all, which is you guys in the Downers Club. People like JC, Justin Savoy, Justico Mitchell, Silas Lane, Joey Ferguson, Dave, Casey, other people, Zach Varnell, Danielle, Alex something else, Zareth Anarchy, Lauren Carter, Level Zero, Vanzat Media, Jack Casey, Javari, Craig DeCosta, Joe Kapinski, Tim Brown, Aaron Stute, Howie Snowden, all the people, all the classics that have been supporting this show for a good hot minute. And some new folks who have come in. If you want to get your name on that list and possibly have it read incorrectly, go on over to patreon.com/thesystemsdown and sign up for the Downers Club, where you'll get more weird, more raw, more offensive, more weekly content, bonus episodes of the show every single week. Now, when I say every single week, I don't mean today, because I don't have time today. We're not doing an after party today. I'm sorry. But I've done a buttload of extra content for you all week. I was on Craig's show, Break the Bell podcast, on Monday. I was on Dave Casey's show last night talking about election stuff. And 2 scoops election special yesterday morning. Probably doing 2 scoops tomorrow. And today, whether I have time or not, we're going to do a full episode. But no after party today. But you can get all the backlog, all the extra stuff, and most importantly, support this show because, YouTube hates us. They don't let us super chat. By the way, drop your fake super chats in the fake super chat section. Put all caps fake super chat if you have something you want me to read, and I will probably read it. Yeah, if you want to support the show, get more weird, more raw, more offensive, and typically more weekly content, patreon.com/thesystemsdown, and I will love you forever or until you leave the club. I'm just kidding. Nobody ever leaves. Nobody does. Now, we do always start out with the good news, because we're not just going to talk about election stuff today. That's going to be a little bit later. We need a little bit of a palate cleanser, a little bit of something to cope with this tragic loss of our democracy in our country, or whatever was supposed to happen. I mean, I'd say that we're closer to losing our democracy with the outcome that we received than we were, yesterday when it was supposed to be a Trump landslide. But hey, we'll talk. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. We do all have to start with the good news, though, and the good news is obviously that Russian bots did not hack this election, right? It's the freest and most fair election of our lifetime, almost-ish. I mean, it wasn't a landslide blue or a landslide red. It was just a whatever fucking typical normie vote. But I guess so far, as far as I've seen, the Russians are not to blame for this very meh election. Maybe they're too busy bombing Ukraine. Maybe they have some other things going on. Maybe they're repairing pipelines. I don't know. I don't know what made them so busy that they couldn't be bothered to give Trump this victory. But alas, they did not. Let's talk about other things. Let's talk about other non-political things before we go there. We do have to talk about This article, the climate agenda, the fine folks that are pushing for the climate change or the climate change debacle or whatever, trying to get you to spend money on fixing the planet, they are at it again. This time they're not throwing soup. They're making making statements. From dailymail.co.uk, so you know it's legit. Should you save a dying stranger if you know they eat meat? The question had to be asked. And really, if you think about it, it's like, should you? If you do think that meat is murder, should you save them? Should you save a person who's going around murdering beings? I don't know. It's a moral conundrum. It's kind of like somebody, I don't know, debating whether or not it's right to bomb an abortion clinic. If you think it's murder. I'm not saying it. I'm not saying you should. And you shouldn't, obviously, do that. You shouldn't obviously do that. You obviously shouldn't do that. Don't do that. And, but yeah, if you can make this argument about meat, that it's murder, so it is justified to let somebody die or, I guess, kill somebody. I like how they didn't go to the extent of, is it right to kill somebody? It's just, it's only right to not save somebody who is dying. Very, very moral high ground there that you've taken. Good job, folks. Good job. I'm going to hit that button, I'm sure, 1,000 times because I'm so used to having a guest here, but there is no guest today. I don't need that one either. Jeez, okay. Now I'm going to hit the wrong thing every time. Yeah, so what do you guys think? Chats, let me know. Is it right? Is it right to save a dying man if he would have killed a chicken? I don't know. That is a tough one. That is a tricky one. SNL is getting in trouble because they had the audacity to have the most famous comedian of all time scheduled to come back onto their show to host. Dave Chappelle is hosting or hosted. I honestly don't care. I think it's just an announcement. I think he's hosting this weekend, but I might watch it only because Dave Chappelle is hosting, but I don't remember the last time I watched an episode of SNL. It might have been the last time Dave Chappelle hosted. It might have been the last time Elon Musk hosted. But there's a big, beef about this because SNL just very bravely, they hired their first non-binary actress. They. I don't know what that would be. We're drinking today in honor of the loss of our democracy. It's never too early, right, Sharon? Let's see. So this comes from NewYorkPost.com, NYPost.com, so you know it's legit. A slap in the face. SNL slammed for having Dave Chappelle as host. Once again, we're very upset that the most famous comedian, the most successful comedian, I'm pretty sure in the entire world right now, is hosting our comedy show. Saturday Night Live is facing backlash after it was announced comedian Dave Chappelle will host the show this coming Saturday, it looks like, November 12th. Chappelle, who was slammed for making statements about the trans community in his 2021 special, The Closer, was revealed as the host through the show's Twitter account. Quote, "Wait, I thought I canceled him. Is it possible cancel culture isn't a real thing?" tweeted ex-Netflix employee Tara Field. Oh, God. These people are insufferable. Quote, "Having Dave Chappelle on SNL, again, is a slap in the face to trans people, including one of their own cast members," tweeted another, quote, "What the hell, Lorne?" So they're all pissed off about this guy who has said some scary transphobic things like, hey, calm down, was the majority of what he said. I would say from what I've seen, but I've seen all of it, and that's pretty much all he said. Kat, if you could move, you're really messing up my lighting here. I don't mean to be this bright. It's way too cheery, way too sunny and happy. So if you could... There, much better. It's the professionalism you get here on The System is Down. Dave Chappelle and Black Star, I'm actually excited, tweeted one person. So not everybody's angry. Must watch, whatever. But the thing that I kept seeing is a lot of these people coming out and saying, this, I don't remember who the actor they is, the non-binary cast member, but everybody's speaking for this individual and saying, I can't believe that you would do this to that individual. And I haven't looked because I mostly don't care, but I haven't seen if that person actually has an opinion of their own or if this is just your normal Karen-splaining and all the Karens just being pissed off for the sake of somebody who may or may not be pissed off at all. They might be perfectly fine with it. I don't know. Maybe they're cool. Maybe. It is possible. It happens. Any chats? It is going to be a quick one today. I know I always say that and I never do it, but I do mean it this time because there's not honestly a ton to talk about aside from this election thing. And it's amazing to me how some of these people like Tim Cast and Crowder and a couple others were doing like 6-hour-long live streams last night. Like, what are you even talking about for 6 hours? I understand the like hang out with friends and chill. If I had like actual friends in real life, I would have considered that myself. But yeah, it's amazing to me how you can talk for 6 hours and the primary focus be midterm elections where basically nothing happened. Basically no real surprises other than... I'm getting ahead of myself again. No, we're not going there yet. Not yet. Very soon, but not yet. Anybody in the chats? Any fake super chats? We got Joey Two Gun says, will you be making an appearance on season 2 of Swampcast tomorrow night, Dan? Swampcast, never heard of it. Nobody's invited me. I don't know who you are, sir. And yeah, no. For one, I haven't received an official invite. Cool. Thanks for, I guess, the unofficial invite. But to be honest, like I typically only do one evening podcast per week maximum. Because family and real life things, some of us actually have those. So I've already done 2 this week, so probably not tomorrow. No, sorry. Any other time, hit me up. You know, if you want to hit me up during the day, that is the best time to podcast, I've heard. Anybody else got anything? Dave Chappelle is a social satirist of the highest level order, or the highest order. Did Dan just yeet the kitty? Yes, I just reached over, slid the window open, shoved him out the upstairs window, closed it, closed the curtain, and we're good to go. So, moving on. This next one was a submission from the great Heffalumps Woozles, I believe is the Twitter handle. And because it was a submission, that means that it is one of your favorite segments of the show, known as Freak of the Week.
This program was made possible by viewers like you.
Get what you deserve!
Your days are belong to us.
No one can stop us from enjoying this, so enjoy it! Stop crying!
That's right. It's Freak of the Week, where you guys are welcome to submit things. There's no obligation to submit things, but if you find something that's just like out of bounds retarded, send it my way, and we'll talk about it in this segment called Freak of the Week. Also, Sharon says, you've been on Swampcast, get over yourself. No, I wasn't. I've watched it at least one time, and CD is correct. Joe Jorgensen was on there, not me. That was Joe Jorgensen. Go find that if you're so inclined. So we've got we've got a Freak of the Week segment here. Again, this was submitted by Heffalumps Woozles, and it seems very important in today's day and age to talk about things like Alzheimer's. Alzheimer's seems to be going around. I don't know if it's contagious, but lots of people's brains turning to mush, sometimes at young ages. Sometimes presidents of the United States, sometimes senators from Pennsylvania. But Alzheimer's, there's been a lot of questions throughout the years of what really leads to this. There's a lot of theories as to what leads to Alzheimer's, but did you know that there could be a link between nose picking and Alzheimer's, actually? So, whoa. right? I mean, we should all probably just take a step back and rethink of some of our decisions. I would never pick my nose, but if you are the type of person that picks your nose, it might lead to Joe Bidening out in your later years, possibly sooner. A new study has revealed, this comes from sciencealert.com, so you know it's legit. A new study has revealed a tenuous but plausible link between picking your nose and increasing the risk of developing dementia. In cases where picking at your nose damages internal tissues, critical species of bacteria have a clearer path to the brain, which responds to their presence in a way that resembles signs of Alzheimer's disease. There are plenty of caveats here, not least that so far the supporting research is based on mice rather than humans. But the findings, so there's mice picking their nose, and they're determining that leads to Alzheimer's. But the findings are definitely worth further investigation and could improve our understanding of how Alzheimer's gets started, which remains something of a mystery. I disagree. I don't believe you. I don't buy it. This is just big Kleenex propaganda. Once again, Big Kleenex is coming out in full force right around flu season, pretending like, stop picking your nose, blow your nose into our product, and like stop wiping it on the couch cushions because that leads to Alzheimer's. Definitely don't eat it because that leads to becoming a Democrat. But this is alarming, and I would recommend that you all take heed to the Big Kleenex propaganda because it is troubling. Big if true, but thank you, Hefflum's Woozles, for submitting that wonderful article. So, again, I'm solo today, which means you get to hear all the mouth sounds. In addition to that, been dealing with a head cold. I'm all drugged up right now, so we might be good for the duration of this episode, but you get what you get. Fake super chat from Hector Ruse. Let's talk about how Georgia and Florida governors win re-election, but Pennsylvania Lurch wins 2. 2? What the fuck? Let's talk about that at some point. Yeah. What'd you get? Like 0.2%, Hector? I mean, no offense, but shh. No. I did notice, Hector, earlier you said something about let's talk about step 2. I would like to know what step 2 is. I would also like to know what step 1 is because, you got a lot of criticism and it didn't go in your favor. And honestly, a lot of these did not go even as good. Like Shane Hazel didn't do as well as I expected him to. I mean, it was tough. It was tough all around for libertarians, but you're getting ahead of me. We're getting ahead of me. I'm getting ahead of myself. We got to talk about Elon Musk first before we talk about the political stuff. Elon Musk went on a Twitter banning tirade this week and banned Kathy Griffin and H3H3 Productions, Ethan Klein, and allegedly, I read something about Daniel Radcliffe also getting banned as well. And it's, I don't know, like, I'm kind of torn on this. The rules apparently state and have always stated that if you have a parody account, you have to state that you're a parody account, and you can't impersonate somebody else on Twitter, especially if you have a blue check mark. And these people are all pissy with Elon Musk and his rules and things, and they think that they're above the rules, so they, with their blue check mark, they changed their account name to Elon Musk and changed their profile picture to Elon Musk, and then Elon Musk said, you disobeyed the rules. So, shockingly, goodbye. Now, this is something new because it's not a new rule per se, but it's a new concept where liberal elites or Democrat elites or lefty elites actually get banned for things. I'm torn on it because I'm like, I don't necessarily think that he should be kicking these people off for that. I don't think that should be a rule. I think that there should be some sort of it's something to indicate that if you have a blue check mark and your name is like President Joseph Biden or something like that, that probably lose your blue check mark because you're not that person, because you can't be a verified parody account. You can't be verified that you are a fake version of somebody else because you're not that person, so you can't verify it. It seems like there's an easier way to go about this than just banning them all. And on it, like, as much as I despise Kathy Griffin, I kind of got to hand it to her on this one. Not for the initial tweets and stuff. She was saying some, I don't even remember what the initial one was, but it was saying something pretty, like, gross, like pretending to be Elon Musk and then saying something very offensive or what have you. And if I was Elon Musk, I would have banned her too, probably. But gotta kind of hand it to her because she, you know, when it's funny, it's funny. I don't care who you are, but she did this. After she got permanently banned, she logged into her dead mother's account, changed the name to Elon Musk and the picture to Elon Musk's picture, but she doesn't have a blue check mark, so I guess that doesn't mean permanent ban. So, yeah, she logs into her dead mother's account, changes all this, and then posts this. Says, Elon, this is Maggie contacting you. Her mom's name was Maggie Griffin. Elon, this is Maggie contacting you from the spirit world. Tell you you're a douchebag. This is not parody. This is the actual ghost of Kathy Griffin's boxed wine-loving mother saying, I'm going to get tipsy and throw my bingo cards at you. Not a parody. To the moon, asshole. Hashtag free Kathy. Credit where it's due. You are an insufferable hag, but also this is funny. The two things can exist at the same time. But this is kind of funny because like trolling the system. I don't care even if I agreed with the system. Seeing somebody troll a good, fun system is trolling the libertarian system, trolling the Republican system, trolling any system. I'm chaotic neutral, bro. If it's funny, it's funny. That's that. And this is kind of funny. Not going to lie. But, again, I'm fine with her being gone. I have questions over whether or not Elon should have kicked her out. But I don't really care because she was one of the ones, you know, praising people getting banned from the platform in the past. So if she gets banned from, it's like, will I shed it? Do I want people's opinions to be silenced? No. But if somebody's opinion is being silenced and their opinion was calling for the silencing of other people, then it's really more of a defensive maneuver than an offensive one. If you praised other people getting kicked off, then I'm not going to be sad about you getting kicked off. I'm not praising her getting kicked off, and I'm also not sad that she's getting kicked off. So I don't trust her. I don't trust Elon. I don't trust any of these people. Definitely don't trust Donald Trump. I don't trust most people in real life. Speaking of Elon Musk had some things to say. Not on. We're moving on. We're going to talk about some politicsing. I guess that's the primary thing that we have left. So I know this probably seems sudden to a lot of you for me to be doing this early, but we're going to take an ad break. We're going to take an ad break. We're going to come back. We're going to talk about all the midterm shit. And, we're going to have a good laugh at y'all. So here's something even sadder, more tragic than the midterms, which is Jack Casey books. Today's show is sponsored by libertarian conspiratorial fantasy author Jack Casey. Whether you're looking for a 3-book fantasy sci-fi epic of love, death, and dystopian civil war like the Royal Green series, or just looking for a quick, dark, comedic, cultural commentary tale about a transsexual slayer of COVID regime vampires, like his latest book, WVW, Jack Casey Books will keep you adequately entertained and pondering the universe to your weird little heart's content. He's the Ayn Rand meets Stephanie Meyer meets somebody who actually writes entertaining books with his own unique little downer-esque flair. Find out more about Jack Casey Books at the aptly named jackcaseybooks.com. Once again, that is jackcaseybooks.com. Today's episode is sponsored by Astero's cybersecurity services. These days, organizations of all sizes are targets for cyber criminals, disgruntled employees, or even nation-state attackers. Astero's performs cybersecurity services providing expert guidance to help organizations defend against threats and protect their data. Astero specializes in penetration testing, where they perform ethical hacking on networks, web apps, or organizations as a whole to simulate what an attacker would do and plug the discovered holes before anyone malicious finds and exploits them. Asteros also specializes in vulnerability management, security awareness training, phishing simulations, cloud security audits, compliance readiness assessments, and much more. As technology expands, it becomes easier and easier to run a business, but if your security is not growing along with your company, then you're going to run into problems. If you don't personally have a company of your own, definitely pass this information along to someone who does, because for a limited time, Asteros is offering companies an attack surface audit completely free. Let Asteros discover potential entry points to your network and how susceptible your company or organization is to cyber attacks. To learn more and to take advantage of this essential offer, just go to asteros.com/free. That's Asteros, ASTEROS.com/free.
Nope, that's still the wrong button. All right. Hey, y'all, we're back. Now, speaking of Elon Musk, speaking of politics, speaking of all these things, Twitter, Elon Musk, he decided to weigh in on the politicsing. He weighed in, I think it was about a year ago, when he said something like, "I've always voted Democrat, and now I'm probably going to vote Republican." So this didn't come as much of a surprise to me, but of course, nobody pays attention, and nobody remembered that he said that a long time ago. So when he said vote Republican this time, everybody was all like, he's a bad guy again. Like, he's worse now because he said the same thing. So he's a Trump supporter. Yeah. But Elon Musk had this to say: "Two independent-minded voters. Shared power curbs the worst excesses of both parties. Therefore, I recommend voting for a Republican Congress, given that the presidency is Democrat." This is retarded. This is really stupid. I mean, I would have preferred, a less blue wave than we received, sure, and I would like there to be curbing of power, sure, but this is retarded, and it baffles me that Elon Musk weighs in on politics with some of the stupidest takes, and then he's like supposed to be this genius who's like sending us to Mars and stuff. He's like this big picture thinking guy who can see beyond like man's fall and collapse into chaos, and he's going to save us by taking us all to Mars. Right. Okay. But you can't realize how stupidly I don't know. There might be something too. As moderates, as independent-minded voters, we need people that disagree with each other having conversation. But do you think that's what's happening here? Even if there was the red wave, do you think that would just curb the government power and make everything be all fine and dandy? Now, what if, hypothetically, our president was an idiot? Should we vote for a smart person just because our president's an idiot? Or should we have voted for a smart person for president? What if we had a great president? Does that mean we should vote for a really shitty Congress? The whole thing just assumes that these two parties fundamentally disagree with each other, which I'm not convinced that they do. They just want power, both of them, and that's really all that they care about. They have there's zero principles on either side of this thing. The Democrats run on open borders, and look at Fetterman's list during his concession or his victory speech. It's like, I ran on all the things, all the buzzwords. I ran on the abortions, the Roe v. Wade, and I ran on open borders, and I ran on no more cops. Oh, the local recording has stopped. What happened? Are we still live? They said the local recording stopped. Chats, let me know. Are we still live here? before I keep making fun of Fetterman. Check 1 2 check. Hello? Are we live? I don't know. Chats, anybody there? I'm going to wait a second because I'm not going to go off on a tirade if nobody's here. Okay, still live. Good. Good deal. All right, so yeah, Fetterman, or like talking about principles of either one of these parties, like what do they stand on other than the buzzwords, the abortion, open borders, gun control, free healthcare, like the same things as ever that have never really changed in any way, any meaningful way, except for maybe abortion lately. But and then you've got the Republicans that are running on, we're not going to do those things. We're going to stop the gun control and the open borders, and we're going to get more cops, and we're going to whatever. Like, it's stupid. And then nothing changes, and here we are. But the same people that were anti-Trumpers, it's like all we have left for the most part are Trumpers versus anti-Trumpers. And some of the anti-Trumpers are Republicans. They're kind of sick of Donald Trump because he had a bad showing yesterday. Okay, so the main thing that we're talking about here is this Elon Musk statement of if this, then you should vote for that, because then we will have some sort of disagreements and healthy, discussions. So there won't be this power grab. It's like, what if they just kind of seem to do the same things? They don't care about the little bit of platforms that they have, their actual principles or whatever they call them. They don't really care about those. They care about the votes. They care about getting the power. That's really all that matters. So yeah, no, Elon. If there's a Democrat in office, you should not just vote for a Republican because there's a Democrat in office. You should actually. It just drives me fucking crazy. Like, all the rhetoric over the last couple of weeks has been the same typical most important election of our lifetimes and all that bullshit. And then it's like, so you should vote for this person because they're endorsed by Trump. You should vote for that person because they're against Trump. And you guys saw January 6th, right? Like, nobody was running on anything, it feels like. Like, when I went through my ballot and I went through and looked up everybody's platforms, half of the Trump-supporting candidates were like, they were running on, I am a friend of Trump. Here's a picture of me with Trump. How'd it go? How'd that go for you? And then they have the audacity to blame libertarians when they fail. Yes, it's the libertarians' fault that you ran on nothing. I mean, not all of them. Some of them ran on some things, but like even Blake Masters, he was like the guy that Dave Smith was pushing, and I'm like, cool that you're into like the Mises and the Rothbard, and you've got some of those things in the back of your brain. That's great and all, and that would be certainly, even as a MAGA dude, that would be a step up from a lot of the senators that we currently have. But he tied his ship to a broken bull in a china shop. Like, the whole Trump thing seems to be wearing off, and I think there was kind of a split in the Republican Party last night. We saw Ron DeSantis crush. Like, it wasn't an abysmal failure all around for the GOP, but it was supposed to be a bloodbath. It was trending. It was everywhere. It was supposed to be a bloodbath. It was supposed to be this just red wave, and we would never have Democrats ever again. Never have elected Democrats for the rest of our lives, from the way the media played it. And then we got Ron DeSantis, seemed like a shoo-in anyway, and he won. And then some Republicans won that weren't that big of surprises, and then a lot of Democrats won that were even more surprising, really, like Kathy Hochul in New York, who's just like appointed. She just got in without anybody voting for her the first time, and then she sucked, and then y'all voted for her. We are such a complacent fucking country, or complacent people in general. Everybody just loves the evil that they know, it seems. Unless the entire system is rigged, which I certainly think that's a possibility as well. So, And me saying that probably means that I'll get, pulled down. So let me know in the chats if this disappears. I don't know how you would, but let me know. Jason Booth says, $44 billion fake super chat. Elon walks on eggshells full of poop. He tries to nuisance and cater his opinion, but sucks at it. Yeah, he's really walking in it these days, and I don't know. I mostly don't care yet. Like, nothing substantial has happened, substantial enough yet, in my opinion, with this whole Elon Musk thing. He's not, like, banning journalists for having wrong opinions. So far, he's only banned people that explicitly broke the rules. So fine. I'm not for the permanent banning of anybody personally, but fine. Okay. It's a private company, bro. You know. Anyway, so speaking of Donald Trump, again, he was the biggest loser of the night, in my opinion. Right before we saw the rift, we saw the divide between the DeSantis crowd and the Trump crowd. The night before the election, Trump, or I think it was the night before or the night of, I don't remember. 3 days ago. So November 5th, Donald Trump was just throwing out some slight shade at DeSantis. And he said this.
But I used to come out and it used to drive the fake news crazy. But today, I have the highest poll numbers I've ever had. Perhaps partly because the Democrats are doing so badly running our country and people want our tremendous success of no inflation, energy independence, military victory. Remember, I defeated ISIS 100%. Remember?
100%. It's funny. It's fun. It's enjoyable to listen to a narcissist gloat about how winning he is a couple nights before. Like, in my opinion, this is a bigger loss for Trump than 2020 was. It's bad. It's like real bad.
Al-Baghdadi and so many other things, including crime. We had it way down. But we have the best poll numbers. Where are they? Are they putting them up on the screen? I think so. Put them up. Look. Yeah, we're putting them up. We're winning big in the Republican Party for the nomination like nobody's ever seen before. Let's see. There it is. Trump at 71. Ron DeSanctimonious at 10%. Mike Pence at 7. Oh, Mike's doing better than I thought.
Ron DeSanctimonious. Not even his best, quip, but, I mean, it's obvious what's happening here. Donald Trump is throwing shade at his future political opponent, Ron DeSantis. Apparently he came out and, backpedaled this or something the next day, but mostly who gives a shit what he thinks. Yeah. He's dividing, he's setting the stage for the next wave, the next most important election of our lifetime, where he has to run against Ron DeSantis, who he created. Ron DeSantis would be nothing without him. In fairness, he's not wrong. He did help make the name for Ron DeSantis, but Ron DeSantis has currently a lot more support amongst people who are sick of the left and also sick of Donald Trump, which there's probably a lot of them. I don't trust Ron DeSantis. Ron DeSantis to me feels like if George W. Bush came out and was governor during the COVID pandemic and opened up the state a little bit that he was governing. If George W. Bush was better than all the other governors on COVID, but still was George W. Bush outside of all that. I mean, in fairness, Ron DeSantis is certainly a much smoother talker than George W. Bush, but he's not, for whatever he did and didn't do during the COVID regime, fine, but he's not the savior or anything different from the establishment outside of that, from what I've seen. And I don't know do people literally just we've had single issue voters for a long time. It's always been a thing where it's well, I'm pro-abortion, so I'm going to vote for the Democrat. I'm anti-abortion, so I'm going to vote for the Republican. That's kind of been the going thing. But Ron DeSantis, for all the good that he's done with COVID and all the anti-woke stuff that I can certainly respect and enjoy, what else has he got? And that's kind of the thing. Like, all this blaming of libertarians. Do you know what it would take? I'm sure a lot of libertarians voted for Ron DeSantis, and he's not great on a lot of points. He's definitely not libertarian on a lot of things outside of some of the COVID appearances and some of the anti-woke stuff, perhaps. But he's not great on a lot. Do you know what it would take for any of these Republicans that lost last night? What would it take for the libertarians to throw their support behind them? Because I'm sure a lot of them threw their support behind Ron DeSantis with the little bit of libertarianism that he might have. We're kind of whores, right? Tulsi Gabbard, we were all about her, or not me, but I know a lot of people, even Larry Sharp. God bless him. I love you, Larry. But there was that time where Tulsi Gabbard came out and said an anti-war thing, and then Larry Sharp said, hey, if we could get a libertarian ticket with Tulsi Gabbard at the top of it, that'd be great. She's not a libertarian, though. Do you know what it takes for libertarians to support somebody who's not a libertarian? All it takes is for you to stop sucking just a tiny bit. That is it. I like our party, and I like libertarian candidates. We don't win, so, I mean, we're losers by definition, but we also don't the odds aren't stacked in our favor of landslide victories, and then we lose. No, the odds are completely stacked against us from ballot access to debates to getting the word out and not having the funding and not being a part of the two major party systems. We have all the odds stacked against us. The Republicans just had every single odd stacked in their favor for a landslide victory, and they lost. What does that tell you? It's our fault. It's our fault. No, all it would take, like Dave Smith supported Blake Masters. Fine. Like, I don't know that much about the guy, so I'm not going to say whether or not I would support him, but it wouldn't take a lot for a lot of us to support somebody like Blake Masters. Do you know what the biggest reservation that libertarians had with supporting Blake Masters? It was Donald fucking Trump, because you guys can't get the fuck over him. Get over him. Run a decent candidate, and hey, it's fine. Okay. The reason the Libertarian Party exists is because your parties suck. If your parties didn't suck, if there was even one of you parties that had the slightest shred of principle, the Libertarian Party would suffer drastically. But we're done. We're fed up with the shit. I don't care if a Republican loses because too many of us voted for principles. I didn't vote in certain areas. Like, on my ballot, there were some Republicans that were unopposed. There was Democrats versus Republicans where there was no libertarian option. I looked them all up. If they didn't have their principles and their issues and their stances laid out, I didn't vote for either of them because fuck you. I'm not playing your game. It's rigged. Tell me who you are and what you stand for, or you do not get my vote. Also, libertarians, fucking step it up. We had some good ones. Georgia Senate is currently just came out that they are going into a runoff. And I'm sure a lot of the Republicans will blame Chase Oliver for that. Chase Oliver, very gay, trans-affirming, like something that Republicans are known for being like on the side of, and they would have voted for Chase Oliver over the other guy, right? Herschel Walker. No, I don't buy it. No. Do better. Everybody, just fucking do better. Libertarians, do better. Good on Chase for stirring things up. I disagree with him on some things, but I agree with him probably. I agree more with Chase on things than Ron DeSantis, I can almost guarantee you. So great. Now, Republicans, this came out before the election. Everybody was predicting Republicans to massively sweep this thing, and to the extent that before any numbers were out, before anybody had won, the New York Times came out with this. Elections and anxiety often go hand in hand. Here are some evidence-based strategies that can help you cope. Help you cope with an election that, like, okay, I don't care what side you're on. This was written, I'm sure, with Democrats in mind, because even the New York Times was expecting coping mechanisms to be needed for the result of this. And if the Democrats were winning in a landslide, or projected to win in a landslide, I don't think that they would have put this out. But now the Republicans can use this too in their own states. 5 ways to soothe election stress. By the way, if you need these, no matter what side you're on, go touch grass. Just go outside. Realize that nothing changed last night. Touch grass. Democracy still exists, for better and worse. And then, yeah, you can come back and go back to sleep on Twitter whenever you like. But go touch grass. That's all. 5 ways to soothe election stress. Number 1, try 5-finger breathing. Trace the outside of your hand with your pointer finger. When you trace up, breathe in. When you trace down, breathe out. Like this. I feel more stress-free already. Cool down is the next one. Plunge your face into a bowl of ice water for 15 to 30 seconds. Yes. Voting adults need to be told by the New York Times, if you are so upset by election results, go waterboard yourself in ice water to calm down. That's how bad things have gotten. Number 3, move. Just get up and move. Even a walk around the block can offer some relief for an uneasy mind. Holy shit. My favorite, number 4, breathe like a baby. It should be in parentheses because that's what you are, you infant child. Breathe like a baby. Focus on expanding your belly. Belly, not even stomach, belly. Expand your tummy like a wee little baby that you are, which can send more oxygen to the brain. Really? I had no idea that breathing could send more oxygen to the brain. That is science. And finally, limit your scrolling. This is the one that I agree with. Limit your scrolling. Go touch grass. Consider plotting out specific times when you will look for election updates. Good Lord, we are children, and we don't deserve to vote. We don't deserve it. Got any fake super chats up in here? Drop your fake super chats if you got them. Fake super chat from Silas Lane. Why isn't it opening? I had 2 libertarian candidates on my ticket who didn't even have a campaign website. The only information was an email address. Yes, agreed. Most of the libertarian candidates here in Illinois, which there was a surprising amount, good on you guys for running, most of them had their stuff out there. For the most part. It was a little hard to find. I got to be honest. It is not difficult. If you are planning on running a campaign, before you announce it, Joe Jorgensen, I'm looking at you, have your logo, your branding, your website, your talk points, everything ready to go so that there's no question who you are, where you stand. If it is election day and you still don't have that figured out, then you shouldn't have probably run in the first place. You're probably, as a libertarian, let's be honest, you're probably not going to win. 99.999% of libertarians do not win their election. And the argument that's always made, the argument that I make is it is a platform. It is an ability to get the message out there to a new audience of people and be able to share the ideas of liberty to a new audience and wake people up. Accept that you're probably not going to win, but use everything in your ability on this platform to wake people up. If you don't even have a website, if people don't know how to find you, if they don't know what you stand for, you wasted every single ounce of time, money, and energy in your entire campaign. Period. I'm pissed off at everybody today. Sorry. I love you guys. Do better. So, yeah. Get a website. Do the stuff. It's not hard. We do have people. You can reach out to people who have done this, who know how to do it. And if you're planning on running, you should be doing that. You should be consulting with people who have done this and know how this works. I know it's hard. It's an uphill battle. There's a reason why I'm not a politician. And knock on wood, hopefully will never be a politician, because it's a lot of work. And if you're not cut out for the work, don't do the job. It's not a moral good to run for office. You could be great. But if you're not going to run actually for office, then don't do it. It's great to give people another option on the ballot that isn't Republican or Democrat. That's great. Especially if you're a principled libertarian, even better. What an opportunity that would be to really wake some people up if you used it properly. But if you're not going to use it properly, don't use it. Don't do it. You're just going to be another statistic that nobody heard about, nobody cares about. And even, I had a libertarian that I voted R over L on my ballot because I looked up the libertarian and I thought that he was a hack on some principles. I'm going to vote principled. And the bar for me voting for a Republican, I don't know if this is actually true. When voting for a Republican, like on the COVID stuff, if somebody has a stance on COVID stuff, like if it's something like, I don't know, like attorney general or something to do with law enforcement or something like that, I don't agree with a Republican. I don't think that we need more police and more lockdowns and more, or not lockdowns, but like if the Republican is saying that we need more cops but also the lockdowns were unjust and I would never allow my people to enforce that. And then we have a libertarian guy who's saying, I'm actually for vaccines and I think vaccines are a good thing and they're a miracle and I've been vaxxed and boosted 3 times and we'll get the 4th if it comes out. Like, I just automatically don't trust you, bro. Like, you're not paying attention. And you're entitled to that opinion, and great that you probably wouldn't have locked people down, but you're not going to win anyway. And in a time when they're still pushing the COVID shit between Democrats, like the Democrats still want the lockdowns. They still want the mask. No matter how far out of COVID we are, they still at least pretend like they want these mandates to happen. I'm going to vote for the guy who says no mandates, no masks, also fuck your vax. Yeah. It kind of depends. Like, I'm not just going to vote libertarian down ticket. I understand that that's what a lot of you do, and honestly, you're better off doing that than voting R or D all the way down ballot, because the R's or D's typically stand for much less of anything than the libertarians do, and the libertarian is a protest vote anyway. So you are better off voting all libertarian than you are just blindly voting R or D, but the biggest issue is that we pretend like running for office or voting is some sort of moral good. If you don't know who you're voting for, or if you don't have a campaign strategy, or if you don't have a plan to actually do something with your campaign, there aren't moral goods to either of these things. Yeah. It's not unpatriotic to say not good enough. I honestly wish that we had a nota box, a nota bubble on all ballots, because I would have voted nota on almost everything. There was nobody that really sold me, and there was a lot of blank bubbles on my ballot, because I'm not going to vote for you if you suck. Sorry, Republicans, be better. Anyway, what else do we got here? It's a tirade day. It's amazing to me how badly you guys did. Like, yes, the libertarians did worse. We knew that we were going to. That's not a surprise. Again, the odds were completely stacked against us, completely stacked in your favor. This was the red wave, the red tsunami, the bloodbath. And what'd you get? A bunch of people, a few people, like Ron DeSantis, the not Trump Republicans, are the more establishment Republicans even, are doing better than the Trump Republicans. You guys, the Trump guys, yes, Trump's words are sometimes deceptively slightly more libertarian than other elitists that are running. He is not your savior. He is a narcissist that is going to use you. Like he was already bragging before the election about how amazing all of his candidates were going to do. And here we are. DeSantis won. Seems like Trump lost. Okay. Any fake super chats here? Silas Lane says, come on, pull it up. Move it over. Fake super chat. I had 2. We already read that. Yes, yes. I'm not going to go back into that. Why is nothing working today? Joey Two Gun says Silas Lane, shame them publicly. That's what I'm doing. That's my strategy apparently. Reed says, I'm just glad Fetterman won. Yes, if there's any silver lining to the entire night, all that really matters, in my book, is that my boy, my Pennsylvania homie, John Fetterman, what up, whoop, whoop. He seems like he'd be a juggalo or something. John Fetterman won. And that's the crux of all this in my mind. Like, yes, Trump guys lost in some scenarios where they should have won, but is there any more clear painted picture that people just don't believe you either? They don't like the left crap, but they don't like you either. They're not buying this. So much so that a mentally broken individual who suffered a stroke and has a massive goiter big enough that Gavin Newsom would abort it. A guy who can't even string a sentence together. Won. God bless democracy. God bless it. There's a chaotic neutral part of me that would have absolutely voted for John Fetterman, because what was the other option? The only option was establishment hack Oz, whatever, Mehmet Oz, a libertarian guy who I heard wasn't all that good. I don't know that much about him, but from what I heard, wasn't that libertarian. So he probably wouldn't have gotten my vote. Or mentally retarded John Fetterman. I take that because, hell yeah, send that cripple on up to Congress, and let's at least get some content out of this, guys. Like, what, you want Dr. Oz? Really? You think that libertarians are the reasons that your guy lost to a man who can't speak? What does that say about you? That there was a guy who could not speak, who could not, like, he seems to be getting a little bit better. That, or he had his acceptance speech very well rehearsed. There was a few Fetterman moments, but it wasn't. It was surprisingly not. It definitely wasn't as bad as the debate. That debate was an atrocity, and democracy. That democracy that we're so concerned about losing. It was a beautiful sign of democracy that we have Oz, who sucks, Fetterman, who's broken mentally, who can't talk, and everybody's like, I guess Fetterman, because Oz is really bad. Oh my God. It's kind of beautiful. Sorry, I'm behind on all these chats because I'm just ranting alone by myself for an hour and not talking to you people. Fake super chat from Reed. At least Fetterman won. I just read that. Apparently my chats are jumbling because I just scrolled down a long way and found the same chats. Okay. I think some of them are in here twice, actually. I don't know if there's a glitch, but whatever. We shall continue. Speaking of libertarians, Edward Snowden, we're going to get back to some more of this stuff, I'm sure, but I did think this was worth a note. Edward Snowden said, I've never understood the political fear of libertarians. Quote, sure, they're not in power, but someday they might take over and leave you alone, I guess, since that's kind of their whole deal. End quote. He says, it's like being afraid of cats. He goes on to say, if they changed their mascot from a porcupine to a cat, they'd probably win the White House just on marketing. Yes. Yes. And to that I say, for the love of God, let's just do it. Let's just do it. Most people wouldn't even notice. Most people don't know what the libertarian mascot is. I mean, it's the porcupine, and that's all good and well. The whole idea behind the libertarian porcupine thing is like, oh, they only their quills come out when they're attacked. Same for cats, man. Cats are gentle and loving, and they will attack you. They will claw the shit out of you if you step on cat. But cats are just generally more likable. And if you had to choose, like if you put up, let's say you didn't know anything about the political parties, you didn't know what they stood for or anything, but you're like, hey, there's an elephant, there's a donkey, and there's a porcupine. Which one of those are you going to choose? I mean, all of them are kind of trash. You put a cat up there, though. Elephant, donkey, cat? Come on. TikTok made an entire industry off of this. Let's capitalize on that. We can be the cat party. Hell yeah. I mean, we're all like autistic recluses anyway. It seems like it would be a no-brainer. Use the marketing that God gave you. We're mostly cat people. I'm just going to claim it. Libertarians are mostly cat people, and there's a reason for that. It's because dogs are communists. This was a Matt Kibbe quote, actually, from way back when I went to my first Pork Fest. There's video of it out there somewhere, but I'm going to steal it and pretend like it's mine. Dogs are communists. Cats are libertarians. Cats will leave you alone most of the time. They will find people that they trust and become really like close and connected with them. Like my cat sleeps with me every night, and he usually comes over and hangs out on my desk the entire day. He's still there. He's been there this entire time. I need a cat cam, an action cam. His name is Action, AXSHYN. I need an action cam. I'll put the GoPro on that. Have an actual action cam. Cats will do that. They'll sleep and sunbathe until something happens, and they'll pounce and take care of business. Dogs will come and hump your leg without warning and expect the world from you. Expect like they can't even pee on their own without having their hand held. Walked out the door. They will hump your leg. They will rape the shit out of you if given the opportunity. And it's just out of sheer stupidity. It's not even malicious. Like they think they're doing the right thing, but they'll really fuck you over in the end. Don't vote for dogs. Vote for cats. And the Republicans are just like I don't know, some sort of like Chihuahua, like still a dog, but like hasn't figured it out yet. Anyway. That's that. That's just my appeal to Angela, the LP, anybody who's listening, anybody in charge. I'm not even joking. I will do everything in my power to make the cat the official libertarian mascot because of the marketing alone, as Edward Snowden said. Come on. Just do it. There's so much material there. We can start just like libertarian cat channels where we just show cat videos and have like Murray Rothbard readings behind it or something. Like that shit would somebody do that. TikTok. It'd be amazing. You want to wake people up? Give them what they're asking for. Everybody wants cat videos. Give them what they're asking for. Cat Party 2024. Let's do it. Drop a 1 in the chat if you agree. Cat Party. For the libertarians moving forward. One's in the chat. Let me know. Now, this election, sure, the Republicans are failing, in my opinion. If I haven't made that apparently clear, but you can't have a Republican loss without alleged voter fraud. And I posted something on Facebook or Twitter a couple days ago that was like, if I'm being honest, I think that Donald Trump won the 2020 election. I do. I think that there was fraud. I also have never voted for him, will not vote for him, have no intention of voting for him, don't encourage you to vote for him, and Biden sucks. Like, sorry, your whole dichotomy, your whole agenda means nothing to me. No. But I do think there's some shady shit going on there. And I do think that he had the support at that time. I don't think he has it now. But there's still some shady shit going on with this one. I've got a couple of videos that have been making the rounds where down in Maricopa County, if you're not familiar or don't remember, that was like the epicenter of all the kerfuffle of election suspicions back in 2020. So we're going to see what's going on or what happened yesterday down in Maricopa County. And starting with this.
Of course, I know everybody wants to make sure that it reads and everything is fine.
Can you repeat that?
I can promise
Can you start from the beginning and repeat that?
So what happens is we have two tabulators. One of the tabulators is not working, okay? The other tabulator is taking about 75% successful. So 25% of them are being misread, and it could be a printer issue, or it could be the tabulator itself. So when it's misread, you have an option to put it into what's called box 3, and it gets read, whether it goes downtown and gets read manually, or whether it gets refed into our tabulator.
You don't want to adjudicate.
They get read, okay? So no one's trying to deceive anybody.
Of course not. Not on election day. That would never happen, right? No, that would never happen.
So,
yeah. So, no big deal. Just 25% of the votes didn't get read, but don't worry, because they're going to be read and everything's going to be fine. It's just normal. Just normal. I'm not like, I believe there's voter fraud in every election. I am sure of it. Like, I have no question in my mind that to some degree there's voter fraud. But I don't know. Republicans, if you start like crying and whining about this one without substantial evidence, I mean, more than this. We've got a couple more videos. They're all kind of like this, where it's like there's some shady stuff going on, sure, but it shouldn't matter. It should have been with, like, as bad as Biden's last 2 years have been, record inflation, war, like poverty, just nothing positive has come out of the Biden administration. And if there was, I would let you know. I'm not opposed to Biden doing something right. That would be great. But nothing. There's not one thing that I can point to and go, well, at least he did good on that. Like, even the weed thing of like, yeah, we're going to let all the people who are in federal prison for petty weed charges, we're going to let them out. Well, okay. Why are they in federal prison for petty weed charges? Or are you just saying things to try and, like, that was all leading up to the midterms, and it just seemed like desperation, because he's got a lot of empty statements that the White House keeps having to backpedal and be like, no, actually, that's not what he meant. He meant something else. We're not the shadow government. We're just disagreeing with the guy in charge. I don't know. Like, you guys had a slam dunk. Not that I want a slam dunk for the Republicans. Like, libertarians, take note. The tides are turning in some ways. Like, this is not typically our election cycles are just like pendulum swings. It used to be every 8 years we would swing heavy Democrat for 8 years and then Republican for 8 years. And then it was like Donald Trump got 4 years. So that was a shorter swing. And then it was back to Biden, and that was a swing. And then 2 years later, it swings and it kind of stops. We're kind of at a standstill, in my opinion. Like, it's looking like the Republicans are going to get the House, and the Democrats are going to. It's going to be kind of a tie in the Senate or whatever. But there was no landslide victory here. It's almost like people are just kind of voting back to team politics for the most part. And I don't know. It's just a toss-up because nobody has anything worth voting for. But let's watch a couple more videos on election suspicion, because this stuff, I don't think it's going to sway anything, but it is worth pointing out that there's 25% of the votes just aren't going to get counted right away or in the normal means, and they can just say that in a county like this. Here's this one. Oh, come on. It's not going to play because it's Twitter.
It got misread, but then what was happening?
Put it in there.
Yeah.
And tonight, a Republican and a Democrat will sit and go through all of the misread ballots all over the county.
Okay.
And count them. And it will get counted.
Okay. And
okay.
Both machines were not working. Yeah.
No, nothing's working in
okay.
the last half hour. Nothing.
Thank you. Put my ballot in, but.
So their machines aren't working. They haven't been working for the last half hour. Just stick your ballot in this box. We assure you everything will go off without a hitch. It will be as normal, and there will be no problems. We promise. Nothing against this nice old lady who's probably a substitute teacher or something, and she's volunteering to do this. But how do you know, substitute teacher lady? How do you know? Like, the people that were gonna do shady shit, if they were going to, You think they would just tell you? They would just be like, hey, when you're not looking, this is going to be bad. Like, we're going to do some shady shit, but tell them, like, no. She's just as informed as the rest of us are, except, man, I would hate to be in that position. I don't envy anybody who had to work any of the polls this year, especially in some of these bigger cities where everybody's just watching you like a hawk and assuming that you're up to no good because you volunteered for a stupid job to make like $100 and sit there all day listening to people watch you and complain about you, all that stuff. There's also this one. This is also out of Maricopa County. I should probably screen share here. Here we go.
Hello, Maricopa County. I'm Bill Gates, the chairman of the Maricopa County Board of Supervisors.
And I'm Stephen Richard, the Maricopa County Recorder.
And we're here to give you an update on how things are going so far with the election. We've already had almost 44,000 people show up this morning, check in, and be available to vote. And things are going great out there, but there's one thing that we wanted to address to make people aware of today, and that has to do with our tabulators. We've got about 20% of the locations out there where there's
this is government tech.
Issue with the
government tech is what in 2022 gives you something that looks like that. That's the best we've got. 2022. That. Like, I don't even pay at when I go to McDonald's, I don't even pay them with money or even card or anything anymore. I barely even talk to them. We have the technology for McDonald's. When you go to McDonald's, you can place your order, you can pay for your order, you pull up, you say, here's my 4-digit code, and you receive your food and leave. This is what we're dealing with for this is the most free and fair election possible technology that we could ever come up with. Just a old fax machine and two schlubby dudes discussing how, you know, it's fairly normal for us to not like count the votes right, and don't worry, we'll count them later. Nothing to see here.
Later, where some of the ballots that after people have voted them, they try and run them through the tabulator, and they're not going through. But the good thing is we do, first of all, we're trying to fix this problem as quickly as possible, and we also have a redundancy in place. If you can't put the ballot in the tabulator, then you can simply place it here in where you see the number 3, and this is a secure box where those ballots will be kept for later this evening, where we'll bring them in here to Central Count to tabulate them.
So this would function much like early voting functions.
This looks like it's taken from like The Office. Not even like the American Office. This is like the British The Office. Like even the filming quality looks like this was filmed in like the 90s or early 2000s or something. The technology, the suits, the abysmal appearance of these gentlemen. I understand you've had a long day, sir, but for the love of God, just put a hat on or something. Yeah. The fact that on election day you still don't know how this thing works. How often does this have to happen before we actually figure out how voting machines work? And I'm sorry, but like playing devil's advocate, assuming that these people have no ill intentions, if you want people to trust you, then figure this shit out. Any day now. You had 2 years since the last time we had this issue, and the same place has the same issues, and we're supposed to just be like, oh, nothing to see here, perfectly fine, okay, sure. No, it's on you, and this is government solution right here to its T of, like, government tech. Government tech is always, like, just the standard from 20 years ago is still just perfectly fine because we're the government, and, like, I don't know, if there was like a computer, if Mac put out this product tomorrow at their big whatever Mac convention, and their release was, here's the new voting machine, and it looked like that, would you trust Mac more? No. Now Mac has its own issues, like, hey, motherfucker, give us some USB-C ports and shit, or USB-C charging on our phones, or like any ports on our laptops would be fantastic. But Yeah, they've got their own issues, but if they put out this, you would laugh. This is government technology. It doesn't advance. It doesn't need to. If it's broken, fine. Just keep doing the same thing and expect different results. I'm not asking for like all digital voting. I think that paper ballots are still the most reliable and most trustworthy, but they can't even do that. They can't even handle paper ballots, which is something that I'm pretty sure we had figured out before I was born. But for some reason, just like NASA, the technology degrades over time. And so we get this. And 25% of, like 1/4 of all the votes will be counted later. Trust us, it's fine. Nothing to see here. By the way, Blake Masters, he didn't just lose, he lost to a fucking astronaut. And you know how I feel about those people. As much as I don't trust politicians, guys that say that they want space, come on. Not buying it. We got any fake super chats up in here? Anybody? Anybody? Breaking the Flaw said, fuck these machines. Breaking the Flaw is Joa. Joa, that's you, right? Joa recently viciously attacked the poor General Don Bolduc up there in New Hampshire. No, it was a Jussie Smollett incident. It was a Nick Sarwark incident, you know. From the video, it seems very apparent that nobody, in fact, attacked John Bolduc, but he claimed he was attacked and got hit because he's a big, tough general who's very, very tough. So tough. You might just have to invade China any day now if we got Don Bolduc. I don't think he's going to win, though. It doesn't seem like. Last I checked, he was doing pretty poorly as well. Jeremy Kauffman was doing pretty good. I don't think quite as good as I was hoping personally, but frankly, like as far as like the numbers go, I don't follow the numbers all that closely. Win or lose, like you won or you lost. Except for, I mean, like libertarians have their thresholds that if they get, then they get ballot access and things like that. So that's obviously important. It's always a lot to remember, but I think they're typically like 4 or 5% or so. I don't think Jeremy's going to get the 4%. Let me see what he's at now. New Hampshire Senate race results. Let's see. Looks like we've got, well, that's not it. It's not even, Where is it? Okay. Maggie Hassan in the lead. Maggie Hassan, however you pronounce her name. Maggie Hassan with, let me switch back over. 53.6%. Don Bolduc doing quite terribly at 44.5%, and Jeremy Kauffman, tragic 2%. It's not great, I know. Here's the thing, though. As a guy who worked on the Jeremy Kauffman campaign pretty extensively, I still feel validated and justified in pointing out the fact that Mr. Bolduc, add 2% more to your tally there, and tell us that you would have beat Maggie Hassan, whatever her name is. It might just be because you suck. It might be that. And I know, it's very, it's really something for a libertarian who worked on a campaign that got 2% to point out that a Republican who got 44.5% sucks. But, again, you're a Republican right after the COVID shit. And in the middle of an economic collapse under a Democratic leadership, and you got 44.5%. So, you tell me, whose fault is that? All right. Anybody else in the chats? Anybody? Anybody got a fake super chat? No. Okay. We needed 4%, says Breaking the Flaw. 4% would keep us on the ballot. Yeah, it's not happening. It's tragic. It's tragic. I do think, call me naive, but I do think we were talking about this last night on Dave Casey's show. I brought up like as far as the plan moving forward, like who should we focus most on, like the Shane Hazel strategy or like the Jeremy Kauffman strategy or something like that. And frankly, I think they both had fantastic strategies that were the best that either of them could do in the current situation. I think what would elevate a lot of these local races would be something like a Dave Smith running on kind of a I don't know, like you take Shane Hazel's like just badass, serious, like spot on talk points, just charismatic as hell and great speaker. Combine that with Jeremy Kauffman's opening the door, in my opinion, and the floodgates to doing some of these more like trolly aspects to a campaign that really garners and gains attention. You take a Dave Smith, kind of work those elements into it. I think you've got something there for the presidency. And by that, I mean, I don't mean like he's going to win. I mean, like, if we had a president who was running as a libertarian who people could really get excited about, I do think that would impact some of these down ballot vote candidates and races and things like that. We might still lose abysmally, but as far as waking people up, I think that's the way. I think hiring me is the way. Frankly, just kidding. No, I think that doing like making the funny stuff that really gets new people interested in politics, like grabbing the people who just don't want anything to do with politics, but they know shit sucks. Like, that's kind of the Jeremy Kauffman stuff, in my opinion. Grabbing the people that are watching it for the entertainment value, because really, that's what politics is these days. The only reason John Fetterman won was for the entertainment value. Like, I don't honestly think that people out there are voting for him because they think that he's going to be the difference between whether or not Roe v. Wade is continually overturned or whatever. Like, people are attracted to personalities. That's the only reason why Trump won. And then once we realized his personality and all the shit over the last 6 years, I think his personality is the reason why he lost last night. But I don't know. I don't know. Fake super chat from Joey Two Guns. Can we get a montage of the most important election of our lifetime? Yeah, I mean, it would just be like hours long if you found. It wouldn't take much work, really, to mash that up. But no, I'm not doing it. They're always the most important election of our lifetime. Just know that. And really, they are. They are always the most important election of our lifetime. And this is the point that Dave Smith, I think it was Dave Smith, made on his show recently. Why are they the most important election of our lifetime? They are the most important election of our lifetime, but why? Why is that the case? If Republicans were going to come in and change everything and make it amazing, or if Donald Trump was going to come in and save us all, why didn't he? That was the most important election of our lifetime. And then 4 years later, we were having the most important election of our lifetime again. It's almost like these people aren't doing much. It's almost like they're lying. Like, if somebody won and they were amazing and they made things better, I don't think it would be a hard sell to reelect them. I really don't. And then it wouldn't be the most important election of our lifetime. It would just be maintaining the status quo because everybody's happy, because we don't just have, like, the government being government under a different brand name. That's all we get. We get MK Ultra rebranded as what was it, MH Chaos or whatever. The psyops, the rebranding, all that stuff. That's all the politics are as far as like the big elections. Well, you hated how things have been, so come over here and be with us. Okay, I'm over here with you. Well, you're going to hate this a little bit less, but it's still going to suck. Okay, well, I'm going to go try the Democrats because my attention span doesn't last longer than 4 years. And, like, just this back and forth. But the back and forth is slowing. As I mentioned earlier, it is slowing down a little bit. And I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing, quite frankly. Like, the prime opportunity for Republicans and or libertarians to really make an impact was now and is coming up in 2024. If we can't handle that, I don't know. It's not like if the libertarians did poorly, I would go and vote Republican just to stop the Democrats, because it doesn't work. We did that yesterday, right? All right. Have I beat this dead horse? This dead Republican horse? It should be noted again that Blake Masters, for all of his good, all of his endorsements, and all of his what have yous, he lost to an astronaut. As sad as it is that Oz lost to a broken-brained individual, Blake Masters lost to an astronaut. And I'm not sure which is more retarded, frankly, Fetterman or an astronaut. Because NASA tried launching Artemis again. Yes, we're switching gears here for this closer because Artemis Take 3 gave it a shot, or at least they pretended like they were going to give it a shot. NASA moves Artemis 1 launch date due to approaching tropical storm. But who controls the storms? That's the real question. Florida's incoming tropical storm, Nicole, has deterred NASA's Mega Moon rocket as the space agency attempt to launch the Artemis 1 mission around the moon. Blah, blah, blah. So, bad weather, and so we can't leave Earth again. Shocking. Like, you guys know that I don't believe in the moon landing. It just seems logical. But there's a part of me that's like, if they did, like, I on all these things, on everything, I'm always open-minded. You show me new compelling evidence, I'm down. Let's do it. I might be suspicious of it, but I'm open to it. If they launched a rocket around the moon like they're saying they're going to do, film the whole thing with a GoPro, shouldn't be that hard. I wouldn't think in the year 2022. I don't know. Maybe it's just as hard as, counting votes. But if they did that, I'd be like, interesting. Let's take a look deeper into this. I don't trust it, but let's take a look. Now, they keep trying, and they keep failing or calling it off. And I don't like to make a lot of predictions. This isn't even necessarily a prediction. This is just what, it wouldn't surprise me if something this crazy happened, because I don't believe that we can send a man to the moon. That's not really the topic for today, because I've talked about it a million times, but I don't really believe that we have. And I wouldn't be surprised if something this crazy happened. They finally drag their feet on this, which NASA employees and officials have said, it's going to happen in 2022, 2023, 2025, 2030, 2035. Like, they just keep pushing it back, like in these interviews and things, about realistically when we could actually put a man on the moon again, when we could possibly get the same technology that we had in 1969. It seems unfathomable. What would be okay? I'll just say it. False flag event. Shoot up a rocket, blow it up, the people die, and then we set our moon missions back, I don't know, 20, 30, 40 years, 50 more years than we've been already. What a great way that would be for us to stop asking questions about why we haven't put a man back on the moon in over 50 years. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I don't know. But I would not be at all surprised if it did happen. That's all I'm saying. Adam Choice says, fake super chat, go woke, go broke equals MAGA, go MAGA, go broke, I guess. Yeah, I mean, MAGA has become somewhat of it's just like the opposite to the woke shit, but not in like the anti-woke. They're like anti-woke, but they're like anti-woke extreme, to where people are like, yes, we agree with you. Now, please just calm down, or stand for something other than just being anti that. I don't know. I am anti all that shit as well, but the only issue that I really have with MAGA people in general, like I don't paint in broad brushstrokes ever. Like, I don't think that MAGA people are all racist or white supremacist or anything like that. The only issue that I will paint with broad brushstroke and condemn MAGA Republicans for is Donald Trump. Let it go. for your own sake. If you want to win, stop doing this. It's not working. If you take anything else away from last night, I don't know what you were watching, because Ron DeSantis won and he kicked ass. And I don't trust him either. But he won. You think it's because he was a MAGA Republican? How'd all your MAGA slate people do? How'd all the people that Donald Trump was bragging about do? I don't know. Doesn't seem like it was quite the red tide you were going for. But what do I know? I'm a libertarian, and it's my fault, I'm sure, that you guys suck. Once again. I think that's going to do it for today. What do you guys think? Let me know. Republicans, sorry, you didn't do well. You did not do well. Learn. Again, if you have one takeaway from this, as from the libertarian, and I don't speak for all libertarians, but I do speak for myself, what it would take for me to vote Republican, don't suck. Put up somebody who's a little bit good. Just a little bit good is all it takes. If you're afraid of us taking away your votes, stop sucking. The only thing we stand for is what you guys pretend to stand for. The only thing that libertarians stand for is smaller government, limiting government, leaving people alone. Conservative values, right? Crazy talk. We would align, like the whole paleo strategy would be great if you guys would stop sucking so bad. You want to team up? Put up somebody who actually believes in, like, bare minimum, the Constitution. Like, just very simple stuff. It wouldn't take much. CD says, bye, Dan. Does that mean you're leaving or I'm going to get assassinated for my heresy? I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think? Civil war or secession? What do you think's next? Because I don't know. Like, maybe because this was such a meh election, we'll all be like, I don't know if this will, like, temper anything or if it'll just make MAGA supporters more angry and leftists more angry that DeSantis won. And I don't know. You would think this would calm things down, but I don't foresee anything being calmed down because that's kind of the goal of all this class warfare that has been created around us. Smotz is preaching. Bye, Smotz. Did I, like, get kicked off or something? Why are you guys saying goodbye? I didn't say it was done, did I? Jeez. I can take a hint, though. So, hey, guys, thanks for hanging out. It's been fun. No, Republicans, get your shit together. Libertarians, get your shit together. Democrats, even. Democrats. Hey, just be anti-war, and you'd have a lot of libertarians voting for you. You want to really shake shit up? Have one principle. Stand on it, and you'll probably get some Democrat or some libertarian voters. Yeah, just do something. Do something that isn't fucking psycho, batshit crazy. But thank you guys for being here. Thank you for hanging out and listening to my rant. It's been fun. It's been really something. It's been tough because there was a part of me when I was voting where I was like, man, the Democrats are doing a lot of really nasty shit. So should I maybe vote more Republican on this ballot? And then I was like, no, fuck these guys. I looked you up. You don't stand for anything, so I'm not voting for you. Vote Libertarian or don't vote, or vote for anybody that you agree with. And if you don't agree with them, don't vote for them no matter what's next to the name. All right, that's going to do it for me. Let's get out of here. That's enough. I think 2 Scoops tomorrow morning is happening. Again, no after party today, but there's a whole shit ton of backlog in there. Patreon.com/the system is down. Go jump in there and support the show so that, you can get a bunch more of this nonsense. Until next time, thank you for hanging. Question everything. Stay comfortable. Be bad. Have fun. And get better. Also, remember the belly breathing. Breathe like a baby to cope. Just fill up your little tummy with more air because science says that more air in your little tummy will cause you to think clearer. Jeez, people. Grow up. See you guys.
Dun, 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 dun.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe on your way out and help us change the world one uncomfortable conversation at a time. And if you like what you hear and you want to hear more, go join the Downers Club at patreon.com/the system is down for bonus episodes of the show every single week. Until next time, please continue to question everything, stay uncomfortable, and I'll talk to you then. Thanks.
been a Goulash Media production. GoulashMedia.net.
This concludes our broadcast day. Click.